Hey guys, welcome back. Lucian here with you. Hanging out on the 1710 server, bringing you episode 9 of the Server Play series. So, hopefully everybody enjoyed the last video, kind of getting into AE2. That's what we're going to kind of continue in today. So let me show you what I've been working on. I've been doing a little bit of decorating, really. So, cool. So, yeah, I've been working a little bit. Alright. Yeah, I know. Looks crazy, looks complicated, but I want to explain it. So basically, we're going to spend this whole episode talking about AE2 and getting into the Autocrafting. Now, I should say that since I do have a backlog built up of about 3 episodes, by the time this video comes out, probably a week ago, there should be a video covering how to autocraft and how to automate the inscriber presses. So please check that out. It's just about, I think, like 11 minutes or something like that. I don't remember. Maybe it's a little more. Maybe it's 17. It doesn't matter. Just check that video out because it's a really cool video, and I'm going to explain it a little bit, but I'm not going to go into as much detail as I did in the video. So I have my 4 inscribers right here. I have the interfaces set up. All these interfaces are set to make all the circuits. So you can have, I have the calculation, I have the engineering, silicon, and finally the logic. So I have set these up all to make the circuit portion of this, and then I'm using Ender IO conduits to feed it back into itself. Then over here I have another inscriber set up that's fully automated with buses as well. So interface up here, you can see all 3 of them. At the bottom, always exporting with a craft chip to always have silicon exporting. This side I have always exporting redstone. So if I click on this, you can see that's always ready, and then it's going to just drop in either a one of the 3 circuits to have it made. So pretty neat system. Took me a while. Took me several hours to come up with this system and kind of perfect it enough to be able to show it. And then like the following day, that's when I made the spotlight, or the kind of the quick demo of it, since I had it fresh in my head and I had kind of finally worked out. So the big thing about this is the ME controller. Now the ME controller can, with smart cable and with regular cable, can only run 8 channels per block face. So 8 this way, 8 this way, 8 that way, 8 this way, 8 off the top. So you get what I'm saying. So I had to redesign the system multiple times to basically stay within my 8 channel limit. Now you can go up to what's called dense cable, which can run 32 channels, but you need 4 of the covered cables. So it gets kind of expensive. It's not undoable. It's just gets expensive quickly. So over here, have moved the crafting stuff. So we have just a 1K. Got my move the drive down here. Here's the energy acceptor. So basically the way I have this doing is this pulling off 1 channel. This over here, it takes up 4 channels. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 channels. So that basically needs its own block face. This over here, this takes up 4 channels with 4 interfaces. And then I have 3 terminals, so that's another 3 channels. So this side's pulling 7 channels out of the 8, and I could just throw a little piece of smart cable just in between here. That way I can get the visual representation of how many channels I'm using. Now in the spotlight that I did is I was using a newer version of Walia, so it actually would tell me what how many channels were on each of the cable. I guess this Walia doesn't, or maybe it's the harvestability, not sure. Either way, I have the next version of the pack designed. I just have to update Forge on the server since it's since we're using Forge 1199, and the new pack is built off of Forge 1205. So I'm going to update the Forge to 1205, and we're going to get some new mods, and everything's going to get a nice little update. So I'm hoping to do that soon. I just need to get with Wolf, and he's been a little bit busy last few days, but I need to get with him so we can kind of reset the Forge, or update the Forge. So I know I covered this very briefly, but again, watch my spotlight. I don't want to spend too much time getting this down since I already did a spotlight on it, but the key to wrapping your head around this system is staying within your channel limit per block face. That's the part that's frustrating. If you can wrap your head around that, you'll do okay. So, alright, I think I've said enough. Now, on other news, I was browsing on Twitter last night, so keep in mind this video is probably about a week ahead. Yeah, it'll be almost a week ahead as far as the upload schedule. That Algorithm, the AE2, the sole mod developer for AE1 and AE2, is stepping away from AE. He posted a letter on his website just saying that he basically was just tired of some things going on, and too much work, and you can read it. I'll if I remember, I'll leave a link down below if it's still up. But basically, he was saying that he was discouraged with some of the recent negativity, I assume, regarding some of the major changes to AE2. I think that's what he's indicating, and that he's also was basically just stretched out and stressed out with the mod update. Now, I was watching Soren's stream last night, so I'm recording on a Wednesday. So I was watching Soren's stream Tuesday night, and I did hear Fireball talking about being on the team to move the AE2 forward. So we're gonna have to see where AE2 goes. I don't know. I hope it continues to improve, but it's definitely kind of a little bit weird, you know, the Microsoft thing, and then now mod developers stepping away. Kind of shaky times we're in for the modding community. But also, you may ask yourself, why did I not use import buses on here to suck these back in? Very simple reason. Remember, we're already pulling 7 out of our 8 channels. So if I can't add 4 more buses because they're going to take up 4 more channels, because I'm already basically at my limit. I could add 1, but I couldn't do all 4. So to be more conservative with my channels, I just did this Ender.io conduit, and it works fine. It's probably actually a little bit faster than the buses, and a whole lot cheaper. So anyway, enough of that. I think I've beat that horse a little bit. If you have any questions about the AE2, ask them. I will try to answer them. My understanding is growing each day with AE2. So with that being said, let's get into some new things. So let me grab some interfaces. The molecular assembler, and let's see some cable. So I have some smart. Yeah, I can use a smart cable. Now, what you see down here for this AE2 setup, this is a temporary system. This is not going to be the final system. I'm going to continue to tweak it as I go and as my understanding grows. But staying within the channel limits is a little bit of a challenge. I can have more than one controller on a network, so that's not a problem. But continue to expand it. I'm just going to kind of learn as I go. So what you see right now, it may not even be here next episode. It may not be here in 5 episodes. So just to keep that in mind, temporary setup, just basic level setup. So let's let's continue with our basic setup. So what I'm going to be setting up is a very basic level autocrafting system. And this is the new mechanic for the autocrafting system, a molecular assembler. Now the best way I've seen to use this is kind of like in a flower arrangement, which I don't have the room for right here, so it will be getting moved. I feel really talky today. I don't know why. Okay. So you can see nice little color effect on it. Really super cool. So the way this works, now I don't know if they have to be oriented towards that or not. So I'm going to leave one on and one not. So what the molecular assembler is going to do, it does have a small crafting area. So if you want to do just single operations, single crafting operations, you can use this molecular assembler to do one operation. If you want to do multiple operations, this is the setup you need. So basically the molecular assembler is going to pull patterns from the interface, any adjoining interface, craft them. So these are both going to need power, of course. And I like using Smart Cable because that way I can actually look at the cables and kind of get a good understanding of how well we're doing. So let's test some things out. So I've made this new terminal up here. This is called a pattern terminal. So this is basically this replaced the pattern encoder from AE1. So one of the things we need to make all the time is the glass. This, well, where is it? Well, I want to try to craft a blank pattern. That's what I need. So this quartz glass, that's what I need. Always need a ton of it. Okay. So you can see nether quartz, glass, and everything. So if I put this here, I am now okay. That's right. I'm sorry. I had to switch this. So there's a little button to switch this. So in this mode right here with the 3 outputs, you can manually set your input and manually set your output. So I was using this when I was making the logic processors and all the processors because you have to manually put the output. But I switch over here. This is whatever the crafting recipe is. So I'm going to encode that. And I'm going to stick this over here. So now I should have glass, quartz glass, available to Autocraft. And here you see it's going to use 43 bytes. I have 1024 bytes available. It's telling me I have 4 glass available, 5 nether quartz available, and that's going to craft 4 quartz glass. So I'm going to go ahead and send it, and you can see it's done. So it's not too bad. Alright, let's now do the blank pattern, because let's be real. The first thing you should set up for recipe wise for AE is to teach it how to make more AE. So make sure that's a Certus quartz glass. Oh, I need to be in the other terminal. Blank. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here on this one. So I have not tested this. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, okay. pressing shift over it, that's kind of funky. You see what I do? Usually you can press shift over the pattern to see what it is. Well, you can't. So now it should be able to know how to make more blank patterns. So let's test that out. So I have one in there. Let's take out the glass and make sure to send it through a full operation. So this is going to use 93 bytes because it's more complicated and it's actually a two-step process. Let's start that. Bam. So it appears that it does not matter if this is oriented or not, just as long as it's connecting. So I could add another interface here, another interface here, and one on the bottom. So that's what I was talking about, that flower arrangement, so where you can have interfaces on 5 of the sides to access. So I have, what is this, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I have 18 slots available, and I'm using 2. And again, this should pull, I guess that's pulling 3. I don't know if that's going to be pulling 2 channels or 3 channels. Maybe, yeah, it's only pulling 2. I think. Yeah, I think it's only pulling 2. So now we can set up an auto crafting system. Again, very basic level. I'm going to move this somewhere else and set it up a little bit more efficient, but just wanted to get some basics done. Also set up a magnet crucible down here to make some liquid coal. That's going to be for an upcoming project. I have to, the mod pack has to update before I can use that, but I had some extra coal and I really wasn't doing anything, so I just set that up. So hopefully everybody's got kind of a better understanding of that AE2. And I was cooking up some things last night. Just doing something there. Not sure. Don't even remember what I was doing with that. And you go in there, and I'll put that. So let me do a time check. I was a little bit talky, a little bit too chatty at the beginning of this, trying to do some explanation. But let me do a time check, see where we're at, and we're going to see what we can work on next for the next project. So I should see you back here in just a second. Okay, I'm back. So it looks like we're about 18 minutes in, and so we got a little bit of time to do a few things, but not a whole lot. One thing I want to give a shot to is let's get rid of this. You can finish later off screen. Make that for me, please. I want to give this wireless charger a go. So from Ender.io, it says charges items in nearby players' inventories. Never used that. I was thinking about using remote I/O for wireless charging, but I don't know. I don't know how well this thing's going to work. Never used it, so let's give it a try. So I'm just crafting up the last piece that I'm going to need, I think. And then I'll put this electrical steel back in there to make. Come on. So the reason I want to do this is I like to charge up my tools a little bit, and yeah, that, and you can do your thing till you run out. Get rid of you, turn you into nuggets. Alright, see what we can do. One of those. Okay, seeing what we had and what we didn't. Oh man. Oh man. Ugh. Let's try not to do too much crafting on here. Nuggets. Nuggets, nuggets, nuggets. So we need 4 of these. Screw it, let's just make 8. Two. Okay. It makes more of that crap. So let's got everything ready. 2. 2. 2. But I will say that I am liking Ender.io. I like it a lot. Yes, that's correct. 2 more ender pearls. Toss that up. Get a little low on ender pearls. And I lost my enderman spawner. I am so... 2, please. 1 plus 1 is 2. So sad I lost my enderman spawner. But MFR in this version that I have on here, I think I have not used it, but the guys were complaining that some of the recipes were a little bit wonky, or they're having some trouble with the recipes. So I'm not going to get into MFR yet. I'm going to wait till we do the next update, which, like I was saying, I hope to be doing the next few days, maybe today. Because the forge has to be updated, and since MFR is now dependent on CFH Core, I have to update CFH Core. Well, CFH Core had a huge issue in not the most recent build, but the one before. So I've been just basically trying to sandbag a little bit on that to make sure there's not any more major issues with CFH Core. But seems like it's stabilized out. I haven't seen anybody complaining too much that CFH Core was or maybe it may not have been CFH Core, but I know it was a Team CFH mod that was having a lot of trouble. So I was trying to sandbag a little bit, just trying to wait it out, make sure there's no more issues before we updated. So it doesn't seem like that, so I feel okay with updating that. So that's how pack development goes. Basically, you update one mod, and that has a dependency on another mod, and you update that one, that has a dependency on another one, and that one has a dependency on a higher forge, and then you update forge, and then that messes something else up. It's just a huge cascade of issues. I've talked about it a little bit before, but in fact, I should have a pack update video coming very soon too. It may be already out by the time this video comes out. We'll have to see. I don't know what that video's not made yet, so you don't know. Alright, so I do not have power over here anymore, but that's not a problem. Oh wow, look at that. No interface. I mean, no GUI, I should say. Just charges. So this might be pretty cool. I think I actually have a nice idea for this. So let's figure out the block radius. Still working. Still working. Still working. Still working. Holy crap. So maybe I just need to scatter these wireless chargers throughout my whole base. And that will always keep my tools and stuff charged up. So the reason I was kind of looking into that technology a little bit is I think this is where I want to go for armor, the flux infused stuff. I think that's the direction I want to go, and maybe have a flux infused armor and have a simply jetpacks RF jetpack. That's what I was thinking. So having those other little with wireless chargers scattered around, I can always be ready to go on power as I'm just working in my base. So I kind of like that idea. That kind of sounds pretty cool. If I don't do a jetpack, then I may want to try with advanced genetics, because there is a flight. Yeah, there we go. There's anti-gene. I don't know if that's one. There's a gene fly. So